Good afternoon and welcome to Courtroom Chronicles, Charles of South Africa. Happy birthday if you are celebrating your birthday today. And yeah, man, it's been a while, but I do post almost daily. It's just that it's on the shorts, it's not our one-on-one. So without wasting any time, let us talk about General Sinona. What a week. What a week. What was meant to be just one day of testimony, as we were told by Mr. General Sinona's lawyer, turned into a full 3 day testimony. So I want us to talk about that. It seems like we're in a movie. We are in a movie and we have these characters, and we're introduced to different characters each and every day. So we are watching the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and the more we watch it, the more characters are introduced to us. Each day, it comes with new names, new relationships that are revealed, and we start to see now that who is connected to who. It's like we are being just in G. It's a skaka after skaka, revelation after revelation. So today I want us to talk about this one character and focus on that one character, and that is General Lesetja Sinona. That's who I want us to talk about. I want to explain who he is. Why does that matter to you and I as a South African? And why his lawyer said he would just testify for one day, but end up being 3 days, and why South Africans should actually care about this testimony. So yes, we saw it. Now let's be clear from the start. This video is not a know-it-all video. I have the same knowledge as you do, and so yeah, we're just sharing, teaching each other the way that I understand it, and starting a conversation with you. And for those who are lost and don't know what's going on, I think we'll be shedding light to those. So yes, there are people who watch this for hours so that they can come and summarize it for you. I think it's a good thing, don't you think? So people do rely on content creators to break things like this down and connect the dots. And someone would say something that you did not notice, and put this in plain language, in a language that you understand, that you use each and every day. So that's what I am doing. So General Lesetja Sinona, he is the head of the Hawks in KwaZulu-Natal. And not only that, Hawks are responsible for organized crime, corruption, high-level criminal networks. That's what they deal with. So this is a very powerful position. We're not just talking about any position. It's a very powerful, where decisions are made at this level. They don't just affect one case, but they affect national crime investigations. So this is about public trust. People trust these people in this positions to be the ears and eyes of people of South Africa, whether criminals are brought to book or not. This is their responsibility. So he's the head of the Hawks. Now we know that Khumalo is the head of the crime intelligence, so he's the head of the Hawks. So that's why when someone at this level is questioned, it becomes a national issue. We all need to know, what is he being questioned about? And yeah, this is what was going on in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. So the Madlanga Inquiry is investigation allegations of corruption, compromised policing, and possible criminal influence within the law enforcement. So now it's the police investigating the police. Yeah, I think we all understand that. So it's not about the SAPS or the Hawks as institutions, it's about whether parts of the justice system have been weakened or infiltrated. Just think of this: you have a stokvel, and each person is responsible for 10,000 rands. And when it's time to share this money amongst yourself in December, then some people are robbed, and you ask yourself, how did they know? Where's the money? Who has the money? And now that we've been robbed, how did they know? It's It's simple. The answer is simple. You've been infiltrated. There was someone, a Judas among you, someone you trusted, someone maybe part of the people that signed the monies over the bank or whatever you might think of any situation. So this is what is happening here. We are checking how deep is the infiltration within the police. So General Sinona's name comes up because of his conduct, his judgment, and his associations, particularly with businessman Vusi Muziket Madlala. So that is why he was being questioned. So here's the controversy. The first controversy I want us to talk about is the missing cocaine. So under his watch, there were drugs that went missing. Cocaine that went missing, and this was around 2021. It's one of the most serious issues the commission that was looking into the disappearance of a large cocaine shipment that was worth 200 million rands. It went missing after it was seized, and with General Sinona's instructions, these drugs were taken from one place and taken to a warehouse in Port Shepstone in KwaZulu-Natal. So now, what troubled the commissioners was not that the drugs disappeared, but the storage facility allegedly lacked proper security measures. No cameras, no accountability, no one has been arrested so far. So this is what stood out. And one of the things that stood out was the fact that the people who worked with General Sinona went for a polygraph test except for him. And he says his seniors didn't say anything to him. And the commission was asking, why didn't you offer yourself to be taken to a polygraph test? I mean, it's the bare minimum, you were supposed to subject yourself to that. As you are a general, a leader, you must lead by example. But this was not the case with General Sinona. So the commission questioned why someone in such a major senior position would insist that they didn't get tested. And this was a serious loss for the Hawks. Yeah, so it was very serious. So that's the first one that I want us to talk about. And the second one, it was the relationship with Vusi Muziket Madlala. That's another major issue. The commission was concerned. How are you friends with someone who's being investigated, someone's name who's been spoken about a lot in the streets? And he described that they met around 2018 and 2019, and they met at a wedding. So their relationship of friendship was brotherly. Almost all of them. He's like a brother to me. We had Julius Mkwanazi saying this about Uket Madlala, that he even paid for 3 funerals. He gave him money. And here, just a short left in Yan. He even said that the 360 million contract, Madlala had promised Julius Mkwanazi that he could even retire. That's how deep things were. But again, let's get back to this. So now the problem, according to the commission, is not that they knew each other. That's not a problem. You met around 2018 and 19, but why did the relationship continue? How are you continuing with someone who's under investigation on serious matters? So commissioners questioned why a senior Hawks official was still communicating with him. Sinona maintained that his relationship was being phased out and later said that the determination of whether the relationship was proper or improper was still in process. That's what he said. And I think he was, what we call khatfo. He had headed after Commissioner Sesi Baloyi had actually questioned him that, how are you okay with this? And he just said the relationship was still in process of being determined whether it was a good or bad relationship. So the answer did not sit well with the commissioners. They felt like someone who's in his position shouldn't be talking like this. There should be boundaries and clear boundaries. So let us also talk about another issue that was said was his son. The commission also explored business interactions between his son, who's an adult, yes, and Vusimuzi Matlala. Sinona insisted that his son is independent and he was not involved in his dealings. However, commissioners questioned whether such relationships create indirect conflicts of interest. You are a police officer, you have a very high position, and now your son is involved with someone who is under criminal investigation. So that is what they were asking themselves. So as they were questioning all of this, this really questioned Usinona's credibility, and they raised questions about evasive answers. At some point, they said he's not being honest, and there was a time they also said to him he can't talk about something, but now something that happened a few months ago, or they said 6 months ago, I think, and then they say you can't remember what was being said. It's highly impossible, because if someone says remember this and that, it means you know what they are talking about. So they were saying his credibility is questionable, and they raised concerns about that, his memory lapses, and whether his conduct reflected the standards expected from someone who was leading the hoax. So at one point, Usinona said he felt he was being crucified the way that they were questioning him. And that was a moment that showed just how intense and serious this injury has become. I don't know whether he felt that he's incriminating himself, but this is bigger than one man. That's why it matters and why South Africans should hear about this. It's about trusting the police. And through this, we have trust issues when it comes to South African policing. And South Africans believe that those who are tasked with fighting organized crime should be free from any influence. They shouldn't be friends with people who are being questioned. And this commission exists because of that reason. So yeah, I hope I shed a little bit of light, and let me know if I forgot something in the comment section. And this is not the end of the story. We have seen that we have more people that have to come through. We are expecting Fani Nkosi to come through. So please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. God bless you and ciao.